This right here is a guy named Casey Neistat. I gained so much knowledge and inspiration from this cat right here. This is an interview he did just about a month ago, but I want you to listen to what he says here.
Like, I think a really good example of that is like cinema in the 1970s was, for me, like peak cinema, because the studios didn't know what a successful movie was. They were just making all kinds of movies like Harold and Maude and these like movies that could never be made today. And some of the greatest cinema in history was made. And some of them were really financially successful 50 years ago. And now we have Netflix, which has all of the data. Netflix is the Mr. Beast of cinema. And they like, what do people want to see? They want action, they want this, star, and they're just putting out like, it's shit. So this is not unique to YouTube. It is just like, this is what happens to art when you have access to the data behind it.
You catch that? So what he's saying is, and I have been talking about this for a friggin' year now, as soon as I started to identify these patterns and formulas that companies were starting to follow, it drove me nuts. Because you see how we feel as viewers when we watch something like NF, who feels like he is really, really being vulnerable with his story, and there is a darkness to it, there is a heaviness to it, and there's a relatability to it for a lot of us. And what Casey's talking about is, before there was a formula and people were just making movies for the sake of making movies and trying anything, there were still financially successful movies. There's a lot of them. And they all felt different because they weren't following a formula. It was just people telling stories.